Now, I know you work with the Prime Minister, the office. Can you answer that question there? Do you believe now is the time for the Prime Minister to take any responsibility for any intelligence failure or anything, again, that's happening now or that's unfolded as of where we are today?
You see, obviously, there was an intelligence failure here. We take pride in Israeli intelligence usually, and that should not have happened. And we draw lessons and we conduct inquiries in the past, and we will do it again. There's no question about it. But just like the Prime Minister said, right now it is not the time for that. You know, the terrorists who targeted us, they didn't look at who voted for which party when they targeted us. So that's why we're not talking politics right now. We are very focused on dismantling the Hamas terrorist regime. And when the Prime Minister, by the way, was asked about it in one of the press conferences to the foreign media, he said, "I will resign Hamas to the dustbin of history." So that's what he intends on doing.
You know, stateside, of course, we've seen a lot of people showing their support for Israel. And then we've also seen those who have torn down the hostage posters, those who've been very anti-Israel with their sentiment. Has that made its way back to Israel? Is there an understanding that there has been this mixed response from the United States?
Everyone in Israel follows the news and what happens here and the anti-Semitism that we see, Emma, on full and open display. It's sickening. And they're not only anti-Israel, by the way. I would say that these people taking down the posters, they're also anti-Palestinians. There are Hamas apologists, in fact. They might think they help the Palestinian people, but they're not. Right now, if you're not standing with Israel, if you're not standing with the civilized world against terrorism, you're doing exactly the opposite because they're playing right into Hamas's strategy. Hamas wants Israel to take the fire for their double crazy war crime against our population and against the Palestinian population that they have embedded themselves in and under, and they're committing a double war crime here. So if you're against Israel right now, you are playing Team Hamas.
We've seen global protests, to Emma's point, we've seen global protests really just escalate, especially in London. I mean, the sights are unreal to see the, many anti-Israel protests taking place, shutting down bridges. But I wanted to go back, if I can, to the war of optics, if you will. We know how Hamas operates, according to military officials. Their underground network, the vast amount of tunnels, they're headquartered under a hospital, obviously using, again, those innocent civilians in that area as somewhat of a shield. Again, according to military officials, if you're operating under a hospital and you need to get into attack Hamas, unfortunately, it's going to happen around innocent civilians. How do you combat that in terms of the optics of what that looks like for the Prime Minister?
Listen, I can tell you that just a few hours ago, our forces around the Old Quds hospital in the Gaza Strip encountered RPG fire from inside the hospital, and you have civilians there. So Hamas uses this method all the time, and it is very good, by the way, that the European Union condemned this cynical use of hospitals as shields for their warfare. But we are trying to explain it to the best we can. We are providing. We issued. We took out. You know, we gave some videos. We sent them out. And people can actually see it. People can actually see how IDF forces went to the Shifa hospital to deliver fuel for, you know, medical purposes.
Is Hamas taking that fuel?
No, Hamas prevented the Palestinians at the Shifa hospital from taking this fuel. They are preventing people from evacuating. There was one Hamas commander at the Rantisi hospital, for example, who held 1,000 Palestinians hostage there. He didn't let them, he prevented them from moving southwards to the safer havens that we designated. So we had an intelligence picture of what was happening there. Once we knew he was above the ground, the Israeli Air Force conducted a very targeted strike there. And we are trying to do everything possible to minimize civilian casualties. Hamas is doing exactly the opposite. They say in interviews, Emma, that they want to sacrifice the Palestinian population of Gaza for the greater goal of obliterating the Jewish state.
Oh, it's just terrible. Their intentions, it's pure evil that we've seen.
True.
At the same time, those humanitarian corridors, I know Israel has been working to keep those open to, again, help evacuate those desperately trying to escape the dangers of the war zone. Tal Heinrich, thank you very much for coming in today. We appreciate it. You're welcome.